I'm Justin Mott, and welcome to my home here in Hanoi, Vietnam. And today I'm going to talk about a question I get asked a lot on YouTube and my classes and my workshops, and that is, should you work for free as a photographer? And I guess this kind of really relates to all creatives when they're just starting out. It's complicated because other photographers, veteran, salty photographers, not like me, they'd say, no, never, always value your work, or you're ruining it for the rest of us, or you're going to undervalue the whole industry. And there is some truth to that, but I've said yes to free work in my career. I've also flat out said no. And also, it's a lot easier for someone like me who's been doing it for a while, who's more established, to say no. But it's gray. So first things first, the perceived value of photography and creative work in general is just absolutely all over the place. I've shot and risked my life on shoots. No hyperbole here. I've risked my life for $175 a day. I've also shot similar work or not even worked as hard, and I've made $15,000 a day. Same quality, less risk of life, same effort, just different usage and different context, but both at similar points in my career. So my general advice is to establish a day rate, what feels worthy of your skills, time, and effort. Start with that. Factor in usage, the type of client, the type of work, and the opportunity cost. Because if you're tied up on a free job that's going to take you a few days and a $2,000 a day job comes along, that's on you. So I get asked this a lot. What about charities and NGOs? Like free, right? I mean, they're doing good things. Well, sometimes it's okay. When I approach a charity because I care about their cause or I want to tell their story and I want to do a documentary about it, I'm happy to work for free. A great example of that would be the Rhino story or my overall personal Kindred Guardians project. That's a project that I'm interested in doing, so I'm approaching them. That case, I'm willing to work for free. I'm willing to give my images away, but I also usually have some terms in there set. If I approach them, they didn't come to me, then I'm not going to go there with a bunch of rules and a bunch of requests. Even in those free scenarios for the stories that I'm interested in doing, I still set terms in there, so I'll donate the images to them, a certain amount of images, but if another magazine wants to do a story and they want to save money and not send a photographer and use my images for free, no, I don't like that because I feel like that's taking away work from another photographer and also devaluing our industry. But a magazine should be able to pay a photographer to go shoot that or buy my images from me. But on the flip side, if a well-funded NGO or charity reaches out to me, I'll offer a discount off of my normal commercial rate, somewhere in between editorial and commercial, because they are using this for commercial purposes. They're trying to raise money, and I'm definitely not going to do it for free. I've seen too many charities with big budgets for drivers, apartments, assistants, way too many people on a shoot that don't need to be there, extra perks. And so don't assume they can't pay, or don't assume they don't have money. Assume they don't want to give you that money maybe, but assume they have money but they're trying to spend as little as possible. But understanding, remember that day rate, figure it out. If it's a project that you're really interested in, a charity that you really believe in, but they came to you, still establish a day rate, establish terms. Don't just give everything away. They spend money loosely. Trust me, I've seen a lot of these big organizations loosely spend their money. Let's just say that without naming names. Moving on to big name brands, you might think, well, it's worth it, right? It's worth it for my portfolio to say, I finally shot for insert giant brand here. And yeah, it can look nice on the resume, but here's the thing. If they're big and famous, and they're a global brand, they can afford to pay. If you undervalue yourself now, they won't magically offer you fair rates later. It doesn't work like that. They'll go to an agency that hires a photographer who knows their worth. Just say no to these big brands that want you to shoot for free. I know it's tempting. I had one of my students once shoot for a big global brand for free. He signed a contract that wasn't favorable to him, and they just kept milking his images. Started off just on social media, and then they started using them on ad campaigns, and he signed a bad contract, and that's on him. So if you do make that mistake, or it's just too tempting to work for that brand for free, at the very least, put in some stipulations, like you can only use the images for 6 months and on social media. And if you want to use them in print or globally or over that 6 months, make them sign something with the fees for that. And then you're really betting on yourself. And that's a better bet than betting on them just saying like, hey, we decided to use this more than we thought and we wanted to give you more money. That's not going to happen. All right, so what about friends, right? What about friends or friends of friends or favors? People want a favor. Like, can you do me a favor? The email that I always hate is like, can you help us out? if it's someone really close and it's a fellow small business owner you believe in or a very close friend, at least try to exchange for barter if they sell something or have something you're interested in or that you can use. But always anchor it to a real rate. So for example, like if let's say you're starting off and your day rate's $500 or $1,000 a day, swap your services for products of equal value or more because you didn't come to them, especially if they came to you. Again, if you want practice, this is a little different. If you had a friend that has a small business and you wanted practice, that's totally different. But if they come to you, then peg it to a good day rate. And so in that barter system, still, just like working for the big brands, set limitations. Maybe it's, okay, yeah, you can use these for your website or on social media for a year. If you like them and you want to use them longer than a year, then here's the price that I'm going to charge and give them maybe a discount or something like that. This way you're helping a friend but still respecting your time and setting clear boundaries. Friends shouldn't ask you to shoot for free, but I get that sometimes it's a small business getting started, and so if it's just a normal conversation or they ask you politely and you want to help them out, I understand that too. It's never like never ever do this or never ever do that. What about shooting just for the experience? Because it's very helpful to get out there and practice and shoot something, sure. And to get those images for your portfolio and get the experience it takes to go do a commercial shoot or a wedding. But the thing is, if you're not ready, you don't also want to mess that up. You don't want to create a bad reputation for yourself. I've shot at an extreme discount and even free for experience. When I wanted to break into commercial video production, especially for hotels, I was doing a ton of photography. An opportunity came up for a beautiful resort where I was getting paid to shoot the photography, but I offered to help the company because I thought I could really learn a lot to shoot a free video for them. And I parlayed that video into a whole production company. So never say never. Like, yeah, I did shoot that video for free. It was a lot of time. It was extra equipment. It was a lot of work, but I gained experience. I gained work for my portfolio. And then I leveraged that into more work later on, which I knew I could because I knew the property was stunning enough that I could make something special. Just a few quick little tips here when people ask you to work for free or you don't feel respected or valued. Don't be angry or resentful. Always be professional. Don't overinflate your worth, but don't sell yourself short either. Expect people to question your rates. It happens to me all the time, even at this point in my career. I've literally had clients like laugh at my day rate or mad at my day rate. And we just don't work together, and that's fine. But that's the way they handled it. That's fine. But I can control how I handle it, and I just didn't work for them. So a few key takeaways here. Working for free can be strategic if you initiate it, if you set the terms, if you know exactly what you're getting out of it. But if you always say yes to free work, you're training your clients and the industry to undervalue what you do and what all of us do. Know your worth, set your boundaries, and stick to them. That's my advice. And just feel out the situation. Not every situation is the same, so don't always listen to me and everything I said here, and don't listen to that bitter, salty photographer that's telling you to never work for free. There's all sorts of different circumstances out there. Trust your gut, trust your mind, know your self-worth. That's it. That's my tips for today. If you guys are interested in more business advice or just photography training, you want to improve your photography, I offer one-on-one classes at askmott.com. I've got my Central Vietnam Photography Workshops, 2 slots left for December. It is the workshop of a lifetime. I've got all that and more at askmott.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day. I'm sweaty today. It's hot. I'm going to go hit some golf balls.